Hey everyone, this is Michael Giacchino, and you're listening to Across the Bifrost.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if it be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Across the Bifrost, the Mighty Thor podcast, where on each and every episode we explore the world of Marvel's Mighty Thor. I am your host, Ryan Doze, joined by the entire assembly of the Warriors 3 today for the season 2 finale episode of Loki. Will is here. Faz is here. Like I said, I am here, and we're ready, guys. Are we ready? Well, I guess we didn't really talk about this on the pregame. Are we ready to discuss the finale?
Holy mother forking shirt balls. I am actually drinking a beer from Burial Brewery called Until There Is No Longer. And
Ooh,
I am vibing
foreboding.
hard. As Faz called me in the pregame, I am the most zen person in the universe right now. I needed to hear that. And I'm taking a sip of my IPA Burial Until There Is No Longer beer and ready.
That is a very hazy beer.
Loosening up the pipes.
Look
how hazy that is. Yeah, you guys can't see it out there in listening land, but it is very hazy.
It's so hazy you might be able to see it, listeners.
But Will's ready. Faz, you ready? You ready to talk finale?
You know
Loki?
what, guys? I have two things I have to say, and Ryan will have to let me say both of them before we get going. Number one, this is going to be extremely spoilerific, so be ready for that. Ryan and Will will forget, so I'm just starting with that. Secondly, because Will said it, I'll say it. Holy motherfucking shit. What a goddamn fucking finale. Holy motherfucking shit.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Not in the good place. He's not in the good place.
Faz is in an extremely good place. Faz just has a more colorful vocabulary than you, Mr. Will.
Oh my. But everybody, honestly, we're super hyped to talk about this finale. It was, crazy. Does crazy really like cover it? Like all the things that are implied at the end, all the things that happened at the conclusion of this current storyline. I mean, I feel like this storyline really has been going all the way back to the beginning of at least Loki season 1, possibly Loki's entire existence in the MCU. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it, man. I think it's my favorite Disney Plus show that they've done. I've liked most of them. I love Miss Marvel. I've liked most of them and what they've done, except probably Secret Invasion. Like even that I tried, and there's moments that has, okay, cool. It's Samuel L. Jackson doing his thing. But I think this season and what they've done is my favorite so far in the streaming Disney Plus era of the MCU.
Wow. Faz, any like opening thoughts before we dig into the synopsis and some of our like particular favorite details from this episode?
I'm just overjoyed. Loki's finally in Asgardian armor after 12 episodes of being in a suit. Don't get me wrong, Tom Hiddleston can fucking rock a suit. He looks fantastic the whole time.
Yeah.
But like, I need to see the horns. We've got the horns. You might say that Will is horny for horns.
Yeah, you could say that. You could very well.
You could definitely say that.
Definitely say that. You're allowed to say that. It's a free country. I don't know what Canada's like, but it's a free country down here. You can say
it's actually much freer up here. You guys should try it sometime.
You guys should try it sometime.
You guys should try it.
Oh man, that was good. Cheers. That was good.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow. That. But this was super fun finale. I know both of my distinguished co-hosts watched it the opening night. I waited 2 other evenings and was I will say this, I was friendly bullied into watching it as soon as possible.
Oh, you don't have to say it was friendly. Yeah, you don't have to sugarcoat it for the listeners.
So
they know who I am.
Here's the thing. Everybody, listeners out there, you need a friend that like is like Will, where he builds you up, he encourages you, and he like gently pushes you along to get to like the things that are important. But then you also need a friend like Faz, who's like, dude, what in the world is keeping you from watching this show right now? And I'll be like, my family and my kids. He's like, and then in the group chat that I have with him and our good friend Haley, he was like, you need to get your priorities straight. And I was like, oh, whoa, calm down there, council. But no, honestly, like, Faz stayed on it, and Will was like, oh man, it was great. And they made it so appealing to want to watch as soon as possible. So I watched it on Saturday evening, a few days before you listeners are checking this episode out. But I mean, it was so fresh. It was so I don't know, some of the moments in this last episode just are going to stick with me for a while. And I really think that's one of the great makings of a finale, is how much of those moments, those story beats, those resolutions, like, are they going to stick with you? And I think this show definitely succeeded in that part, especially. So yeah, let's get to a synopsis, everybody. I'm going to give you the broad strokes, the bird's eye view, the 30,000 foot view. And I realize I say that a lot. And then I tend to go into a few little details because I get excited. I get excited about the shows that we talk about, the movies that we check out here on the show. And I hope that you are excited as well. Let's dig into the synopsis, and then we're going to go around the table and share a few of our favorite parts, and we'll get you out of here in just a little bit. Okay? Sound good? Sound good, everybody?
Sounds great.
Rock. The synopsis for this episode starts with the title of this episode is where we should start. It is Glorious Purpose, which is, if you are unfamiliar, it's the title of the first episode of season 1, and it's kind of the phrase that continues to come back up in Loki's life. It's one of the big quotes from the first Avengers movie. It's a theme that Loki has lived out in his entire existence, 10 plus years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So the title of the episode, very significant, and we start off the episode with Loki trying to undo the time loom explosion. He actually takes centuries to learn what he needs to do to avoid it, and learns that nothing is going to change it. Nothing that he's going to do in that moment right before the time loom explosion, nothing he's going to do is going to change it. So he continually goes further and further back and learns that one of the only things that he can really do to avoid this whole thing, if he's going to play by Kang's rules, that's a key to the resolution
he who
that we get at the end
rules.
of the episode.
Actually,
oh, okay. Actually, don't be that guy, Faz. Don't be that guy. As much as we, like, the three of us together, we look like we would be those guys. Let's try not to be those
guys.
guys.
Combine us to be that guy, though. That's how.
Yeah, we have.
None of us are that guy on our own. Yeah.
No. There's so much in what you just said that I want to dig at, but we're in the middle of a synopsis. So we come to this point where He Who Remains is telling Loki, you've got to make some hard decisions if you want to even have a shot at resolving this, because if you go this way, bad stuff happens. If you go this way, bad stuff happens. But all these other variants will get released into the multiverse. So Loki declines to kill Sylvie, and he continually goes back and back and back. Then he tries one last thing, and his last ditch effort is maybe one of the most epic scenes that I've seen in the entire MCU. Loki goes full god mode in no way we've seen him do it before. He destroys the temporal loom. He destroys, and in so doing, he destroys all the strands of time. But then he walks through the mess of dead timelines and gathers them all together, imbues them with his power, and then takes his seat at the end of time in He Who Remains' throne. It turns all golden and it's all cool. Like, he's wearing a type of attire that he would be normally wearing, like with the horns. He's got a green cloak, and at one point the green cloak turns into the strands of time that he's like. It's just so many cool visuals at the end of this episode. He sits down at the end of time, and he is giving life to all these different timelines and holding them together, literally holding them together. And we get a little bit of an epilogue with where the characters are after, what the TVA looks like afterwards. But then one of our last visuals we get is Loki shedding a tear and a little bit of a smile at the end of this resolved storyline. So, guys, did we catch at least some of the major beats there? I know we're gonna dig into the details.
Yeah, and it ends with a tree. And there's something about Norse mythology about a tree. I
I think
mean, like,
there's a very important tree.
there's a very important tree.
Yeah,
Are you guys
the
sure? I feel
world
like
tree,
Norse people don't have
Yggdrasil.
trees. Yeah.
No,
How
it's
do
a
you
very
pronounce
very
that,
cool
Ryan?
visual.
How do
Very
you
cool
pronounce that,
visual.
Ryan? How do you pronounce the tree?
I pronounce it Yggdrasil,
Okay.
but I'm almost positive I may be mispronouncing that.
I feel
But
like the G's are silent, but I feel like you're closer than I would be, so I'm not going to
Yggdrasil,
critique it. Yeah.
Yggdrasil. Yeah,
Idrisil
it's
sounds right.
crazy.
Yeah.
I think the double G's are silent. If anyone out there knows the proper pronunciation, that would be a very big help to us. You can reach out to me at Many Paz Officia on Instagram. If Paz has his way, it will stay that way.
Gotta keep
We're
it,
gonna dish
like
out.
hip for the kids,
Yes,
We're
hip
gonna
for the
dish out
kids.
some L's. We're gonna
But
dish out some L's to people.
Will,
But no, yeah,
what were some of your favorite parts?
the tree, like, yeah, he's taken branches and pulling them together in a tree, and I think, yeah, just a side note, in my sermon today, because UNC played Duke in football yesterday, and it went to double overtime. UNC won, but I had alternate branched timelines of how my sermon was going to go, depending on who was going to win or lose that game last night. And I dropped that in my sermon. I said, hey, y'all, just depending on what was going to happen, there's branch timelines. And of course, there's a sacred timeline of who we want to win the game. And as I walked out, there's a couple people who watched Loki who were like, yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
like,
so good.
he goes, I like that. This one student was like, I liked your Loki reference. Like, thanks. He goes, yeah, if you know, you know. And I was like, exactly. So that was
That's
fun. But yeah,
great.
the tree, the god of stories, is now there managing the branch timelines, the sacred timeline, and overseeing it. As we saw this character arc of him, we commented that he's the god of mischief, the god of lies, the one who brought the Avengers together because he has his glorious purpose of wanting to be God, to be king, and he's searching for these things. And we've seen this character arc of him being the only one in this series, the God of Lies, ironically, the one who's trying to tell the truth and repair things. And what he really wants to get after, as he has this conversation with his female version of himself at the bar, what he really wants is like friends and this deep kind of relationship love. And that is what motivated him to go in and sacrifice really himself uh, into the tree, in the timeline, the branch timeline, to be the one who sits there, who manages the stories, the God of stories. And so, yeah, I love this story. It took him a while. We saw it coming. I knew it was going to end up being that he was going to be the only one who could be the one who would survive going out there, not spaghettified. But there was this Groundhog Day moment where he kept repeating it over and over again. And when is he going to learn his lesson? How long is it going to take for him to learn what needs to be done? Is really him going and sacrificing himself so his friends can have a new life. I'm getting all biblical in here, but like that's really what it was. And so the story arc, the hero's journey of him learning what it takes and what he needed to be and what he's truly longing for and searching for, that goes all the way back to season 1 and really the beginning of really his daddy issues and brother issues of what he's really longing for to begin with. So for me, it was just epic and a perfect ending. And so I don't know if there's going to be a season 3 of Loki. Maybe there will be, but I think the fact that as they lean into these movies and Secret Wars or whatever they're going to do with the Avengers post the Marvels, he's sitting there with a timeline and he can do some pretty nifty stuff. So yeah, I hope he doesn't go back to being like the god of a villain or the god of lies, but this god of stories, this benevolent Loki, repairing timelines and overseeing his friends and storylines. I think, man, and it ended so well. So I was very pleased. I was very pleased. It could have ended better. Loved it.
I think there's a lot there to tease out, but like let Faz, would you mind sharing your favorite parts? And I'm sure we're gonna find some commonalities there that we can kind of pick
I'll try to
apart.
be different because obviously everybody's favorite part is becoming God of Stories. Will's covered that beautifully. That was an insane, beautiful finale piece. one of the best jokes in the entire MCU happened in this show during the Groundhog Day scenario where Loki's realizing he needs to learn things on his own as he keeps pulling back time. And OB's like, you can't possibly learn all this on your own. And Loki's like, how long would that take? And Casey goes, years. And OB goes, centuries. And Loki like rolls his eyes and sighs. And then it goes, many centuries later. And he just knows what he's doing. And it's so good. Like this man just wasted. And it's wasted because he does everything. He does everything correctly. And Hugh Range just laughs at him because that's not how you fix the problem. He just wasted like 300 years trying to learn quantum physics for no fucking reason other than to be cool. And I thought it was great. But yeah, I think getting Jonathan Majors back as the He Who Remains variant just really knocked home how menacing this character is. The back and forth and the way he called him champ because he's not threatened by him, and the way he's like, oh, you don't even know how to stop time yet. Oof, that's embarrassing. And then, oh, you don't even know how to do this and that. We haven't had this conversation before. And Loki goes, yes, we have, motherfucker. And that little twist, just this show was expertly written and they really landed the plane beautifully.
Yeah.
No, I agree. There's so many different things that I feel like we got resolution. Like I had mentioned to Faz after I had just watched it, one of my instant reaction things was I feel like we in this season we circled the drain a lot trying to solve the time loom problem. And that kind of, I won't lie, it kind of wore me down a little bit because I was like, how many different attempts are going to fail and fail and fail and fail and fail? But it did drive home the point how far Loki was willing to go for his friends because it's the thing he wants. It's the thing he searched for so long for, whether when he was in Asgard or when he was leading invasions of Earth with the Chitauri, all the other different ways that he tried to go about being accepted and finding community failed. And for me, it mirrored how he was continually trying to solve this problem that was bigger than himself. And then he had to stop, look at the problem in a different way. And he had to assert his own power into the situation and solve it a different way. Like I like stepping back from it. I loved that. I loved that whole breakdown of how Loki finally, after a decade plus of existing as a character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he finally has resolution.
Yeah.
And to me, it feels well earned. And there was something going back even to my reaction of the first episode. And I had said to Faz and to our good friend Haley, I was like, there isn't enough of the old character that it reminds me of. And I forget if it was Faz or Haley that made the point, like, that's not the point. He's developing. He's growing.
I think we both like beat you into submission with it and made you apologize, which we didn't even want you to get. Like
it's a good thing I tried.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah. But it helped me realize something, that when characters that we become familiar with in a certain vein, when they grow, it rubs up against our familiarity of them. But when a satisfying resolution is come to, we get to the end of a season like Loki season 2, and we find where Loki is at the end of that season. And I personally, as a fan of the character, felt resolution. Like
catharsis.
And yes, there's an amount of catharsis in that he is finally, dare I say, happy. And sometimes it's just that simple. Like, and yes, he saved the multiverse, and it's a big, almost Avengers level threat that he is, he's thwarted. But there was a review, or another good friend of mine, Evan, showed me this review that reminded me of Al Ewing's Loki, and how Al Ewing's Loki ends, and how Loki goes to the House of Ideas, and he's in this tension between these entities then and now, and he becomes this pseudo, entity like he ends up as at the end of this season. So there's a lot of different Loki ties here that I really enjoy. And for me, being a fan of the character, I felt like the resolution at the end, I was like, okay, we could leave him here and I'd be satisfied.
Yeah.
They could take him somewhere else and they could do more with it. But Will, what do you think? What do you think about any of these things that we've kind of presented?
Well, I think it goes back to what you the glorious purpose is the name of this episode. That's what he's been searching for, and it's that existential question: what are you chasing after? What do you want? What's your purpose in this world? What are you longing for? What are you hungry for? What are you chasing for? And what is your purpose? And that those are big questions. And they evolve, they change, they morph, they reform, they transform depending on what season of life you're in and what you're learning to grow in. But I think like he found his glorious purpose and it was there. And yeah, it wasn't exactly how he envisioned it from the beginning, 12 years ago when or whatever, but they he got to this point and there he's resting. So yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. It could end here and never see Loki again. And it was a good resolution. Boom, you nailed it. I have a feeling he's going to come up again, or maybe he wants to do other things than playing Loki as an actor. He's like, all right, I have a good ending. I'm gonna go on and do other
I
things.
don't know, man. He's the one who's most into it, like he's the one that's like, I'll play this character until I die if they let me.
Yeah, yeah, and he does it so well, and yeah, he rocks it. But yeah, I would, I to see him and Mobius still like hang out or have another adventure or bring in other aspects of Asgard. Like, yeah, I'm glad they showed the statue of Balder, but I kind of like to see Balder at some point. I don't know where that shows up, but yeah, I glorious purpose. He nailed it. He found his purpose. It's there. And it's not glorious, it's hidden. It's not self-centered. It's not ego-driven. It's not the limelight and everyone bowing down and worship him as he was making people do in that first Avengers movie. But he's behind the
Right.
scenes. No one knows that he's behind. He's in this like tree that's binding all the multiverse together, which, I think the Vikings, the Norse mythology had something there, these levels of a tree binding all dimensions together. There's something behind that. They didn't understand quantum
Yeah.
physics, but there's something in there that's true. So yeah,
The
I
inner
think
the interconnectedness
yeah.
of life
Hmm.
and the consequences that maybe one part of a story has on another part of a story.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of different themes you can honestly only begin to tease out and to pull the threads on. I do think it would be good for while the three of us are here to talk about maybe some lingering questions you have going forward, because we do leave a few characters with a little bit of a jumping off point for maybe a season 3, or if you pick these characters up in another property, which I'm going to just lay one right out there that I've seen floating around the interweb. Who is Mobius a variant of?
Oh,
Mm.
I don't think he's a variant of anybody, Ryan. I've been seeing all the ones about like, oh, Mobius is totally Odin because he's got a father-like friendship with Loki. No, no, no. Mobius is
Okay.
just a guy, but I think that he is gonna leave and jet ski a whole bunch, and I want a 42-minute episode of just Owen Wilson on a jet ski.
Going
By the way, you can
wow,
see that on Kook Slams
wow.
if you find the right videos. But like, do we think like Mobius has? I know you said like, oh, he's just a guy. I know there's been speculation that he could be Odin. I know there's a lot of different things that Mobius could be. Is it just that we have a character who is on a search for himself, and that's good enough? Like,
Yeah.
I, it's not good enough. Will, it's not good
No, no,
enough.
no. It is good enough. Like he doesn't need to
Okay.
be some deep legacy
Yeah.
character in the MCU. Like let him be his own thing. And he's a dad with a couple of kids. He's a single dad, and he's a variant. And he got a job, and he met Loki, and they teamed up for a little while.
Okay.
And man, that's awesome. Like I'm fine with that.
And his whole story was, is it actually better to know what my real truth is, or if I should stay in the TVA, right? So it's way better that he's just a single dad in a
Yeah.
normal life than, oh, you're secretly Odin, and if you went back down, you'd be Odin. That would cheapen the whole. Because then
Okay.
obviously he should be doing that, right? Like this is kind of a like, do you want the normal life? you want to save the universe? Would you like to do both? It's a difficult decision for him, right? It's an internal conflict that goes away when it's like, do you want to be the king of all the gods?
Okay. So, Will, do you have like a jumping off thing? Like, hey, I'd love to see where this might go, or I'm speculating about this part of the story.
No, I think they tied it up pretty nice. I just what I want to see happen is the God of Stories make a reality Obi's sci-fi adventure and kind of
Oh
like
man.
let Obi be the main star in his sci-fi book and let him run with it and say, here you go have fun in your own
See,
story,
now
or
that would be funny.
yeah, and I really need that book. I will read it. Like have someone write a cheap knockoff sci-fi novel with that, and I'll go buy it and read it today.
Marvel's
Make a
doing
graphic,
in-universe books now. It could happen.
make a graphic novel of that or something. But yeah, make that's the spin-off. I want to see Obi's sci-fi comic book or book come into action, and Loki's like, I'm going to make that happen. You're going to be a bestseller author because you deserve that.
Bez, you got any speculation moving forward?
Yeah, so I have two things for this. Number one, the Renslayer had a purple light go in front of her whenever she was wherever she was. People seem to think that means she was eaten by Eliath, but given there was a pyramid beside her, I think she's being recruited by Ramatut for the coming Kang dynasty. So
Ooh.
putting that out there here in case they stick with Kang. They also might just throw Kang away with the legal drama stuff. But if they keep Kang, I see that happening, and I just wanted to throw that out there and plant my stake so that 5 years from now, when Kang Dynasty finally comes out, you guys can be like, "Damn, Faz was right. Whatever happened to
Yeah.
that guy anyway?" And then
No.
the you'll be tired of
We had to
Eliath.
feed him to Elias. It
Yeah.
only
The second thing that I am speculating about is that our guy Jason Aaron is going to get a bit more credit for some more exciting stuff coming, because I think he's not only the god of stories, I think he's also going to be more or less Avenger Prime. And when all is
Hmm.
lost, he's going to bring
Ooh.
the multiverse together to fight the Kangs or the Doctor Dooms
Boom.
or whoever's on the other
Woo!
side.
Yes.
And
There
we
you
will know
go.
that Avenger Prime, if they
I
do the
can't
secret stuff, we'll know it because we've read the comics. Yeah.
Will, I know you're the
dude.
pastor on the chat, but we may have to let Faz preach more.
That's good.
Let me
I don't know
cook,
why I
man.
never saw that or made that connection, but yes, Avenger Prime. He is Avenger Prime in Jason Aaron's run. Now he's Avenger Prime. He's pulling the multiverse together. He can do that.
Woo!
Yes, nice work,
Mm.
nice work.
And
Let him cook,
and
as the
all the
kids
God of
say.
Thunders people said, "Amen."
Amen, amen.
Wow. So guys, one last thing, like before we wrap up our finale, but also really our review, our recap of all of season 2, potentially all of the Loki show, because we are at a point where we could leave it here. We could leave it
Yeah.
here. And maybe it applies later to Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, maybe, but we could end this story here. Do we have any overall thoughts about Loki this season as a whole, that you just feel like would be glaringly omitted if we didn't share them at the end of our finale review?
I think
No?
I think firstly his costume is fitting. It's not gold and regalia filled and like showy. It's just I'm a time god and I'm here to be a time god and I'm here to save everybody. I also think that that scene was more metaphorical than literal. Like I don't think Loki is actually sitting somewhere holding timelines in his hand like that. I think that Loki has transcended the physical form and is now the one keeping everything afloat using his magic Loki powers and may be able to assume a physical form when required when things are dire. And I think, like you guys said before, it's the perfect end to the character. I hope he comes back, but if they don't bring him back, what a full circle moment. He finally gets his throne, and it's only when it's not for him, but it's for literally everybody else.
Everybody else, yeah.
Everybody else gets to enjoy it except him.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't have much else to say other than that. I mean, that's perfect. Yeah, I think that's where it lands, and I love the where it lands, and they can move on to other things. And they've been teasing the multiverse and Phase 4 a lot. Some of it's been okay, some of it's been better than others. But the fact that they're going to lean into another phase, and they have as we talked about Miss Marvel, they're playing around with some of that too, or and with the Marvels, a different dimension and other characters in multiverse. You can play around with that a lot with different characters of the Marvel toys in the toy box. But yeah, they couldn't have. I personal opinion, they could have ended it better, and they could leave it there. Let's move on to other projects. Maybe they'll pop up.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens and what they do with Kang or He Who Remains or not. We'll see if they need to move on because of other things that happen out in the world in real life. Then cool, they can move on to other things.
I agree. I think this season especially, I think since from the first episode and the first review that we did, Will and Faz and Haley definitely helped me see this season through a different lens. Whether it was talking to Will about this being a kind of a meta understanding of how belief systems break down. What do we do when our belief systems break down? What do we do when the bedrock of the systems we have in place falls apart? Do we try to salvage it? Do we double down on it? Do we violently defend what's left of it? Do we give up on it? That's a very real question. It's been a very real question for a long time. I feel like it's a fair question. And for myself, it was a very personal question. It was a self-reflective moment. Midway through that episode 1 review of this season, I had this almost like, oh my gosh, I did, like, it's all hitting different. It's hitting me so much differently. And from that point on, Will, I can honestly say, like, this season hit differently because I was looking at it so much differently. And I know that may sound simplistic or reductionistic, but like so many of the inner details of like the time loom stuff and the time slipping, like, it didn't bother me as much because I was like, no, the meta narrative of this season really feels personal to me. And for Loki,
yeah,
at the end, like what Faz said, for us to get to this point and be like, no, the story can be done. It can be done. And so often, we're comic book fans, we're movie fans. How often do we get resolution? How often do we land at the finish line and be like, okay, that race has come to an end?
It's only happened like 2 times in the MCU, like just Endgame and like this, and that's pretty much it, right? Like on
like
40 projects.
And yeah, and that to me, that is special. Like, the very fact that Loki as a character has been so integral to the MCU in all of its different phases, finally has resolution as a character that transposed onto me as a person. Like, I know in the long history of Loki being in the MCU, I have been an entirely different person from when I first saw him in Loki, first time in the first Thor movie to now. So it's like, as a viewer, we travel along with these characters as well. And that to me it's important. It may seem a little sentimental, but I think that's a sign of a good character. That's a sign of a great actor portraying a character, but also a great adaptation of a character. So I love that we have resolution with this character and his story.
And the fact, not to be sentimental on the other side, but let's think about the evolution of where you are in your podcasting, what's happening in many paths, and the stories they're weaving together. Like, okay, so now he's a god of stories, and this resolution allows other stories to branch and breathe and be their own thing. So here you are at this point in your own life, your own season of life, and podcasting and stories and being together, these many paths that are happening. There's a chapter turn and a move in a direction where you can go in a direction where you feel called to. And I think that's beautiful. And if we think back on this season, here we are, like, man, we reviewed the first episode together. Then Faz was able to like go to the premiere cosplaying. That's pretty fun. You were there. And then we did a couple episodes together in person. We even brought Dr. Moro on to review. Like, this whole season is
Haley and Kim were on for a great episode for episode 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the
Warriors
how this season moved with us in person, out of person, podcasting, going together, and the character development of Loki also in our own development, our own season of life, and where we are in terms of branch timelines and new timelines that open up doors for new possibilities is pretty special. And it's cool to be
Well,
sentimental with that. I'm cool with that.
to continue that thought, I didn't even think about that. I
Mm.
didn't even think about how like the significant themes of this television show. Again, at the end of the day, everybody, listeners, even my fellow warriors, it's just a TV show,
Yeah.
but it is a story,
Mm.
and we all relate with stories because we are living our own stories. We receive stories from each other. Will and I learned at Theology Beer Camp that we are all in the middle of a story. When we interact with each other, we are all in the midst of our story. And there's power in that because we don't necessarily have to always get, people's story from the beginning up till now. When we interact with them, when our story interacts with their story, it is for that moment, and it's for a purpose. It's for a reason. Like there's a reason why they're intersecting at that point. And I think Will hit something on the head that I wasn't even prepared to talk about that much on this episode. That when Kim and I had this idea for many paths, it was more of an efficiency thing. We wanted to combine our loves together, but also like many paths means something to us. And we hope that while we're talking about comic books and superhero stories and books that we like and all that kind of stuff, we hope that when we talk about that and you listen, our story is intersecting with yours. And if it makes you laugh, awesome. If it makes you think, great. If it makes you cry, I hope there are cathartic tears. All those things. I hope that the intersections are meaningful points along your many paths, my many paths. But Faz, do you have any other final thoughts about this season? Any other thing to wrap up with? I feel
Sir,
like
I
yeah.
gave my final thoughts before you guys like 30 seconds ago, but I'll do it again to say that I think they put him in a great place. I think they wrapped the story beautifully. I think every MCU show should be fully written like this. In movies, it makes sense to kind of do what they do, where they find the movie in the edit. You can't do that on TV. Marvel realizes that now. Loki was the first show to be fully written by Marvel and not reshot at all, and you can tell because they stuck the landing in a way that no other Disney Plus show has so far.
Mm.
And I think if they take the lessons from that, we're going to get some banger TV shows over the next
Yeah,
few years.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And yeah, no, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope that what we've mentioned has connected with you. And honestly, we hope you enjoyed Loki season 2, episode 6, Glorious Purpose. All of Loki season 2. We hope it was enjoyable for you. We hope it raised some questions, that it made you smile, that it made you like do some enthusiastic fist bumps, when we got those epic moments. And so everybody, as we kind of land the plane on today's episode, we had mentioned on previous episodes how Across the Bifrost is going to be changing. So we're going to, for the time being, so we can get Superpower Happy Hour off the runway, we can get it flying on its own in the next few months. We're going to go to covering definitely Immortal Thor issues, and we'll get those out to you hopefully a few days after they actually get to your local comic book store. So they'll land on Wednesdays. Maybe we can get you those on Friday or Saturday or something like that. We'll let you know on our Instagram at ManyPaths official, and we'll let you know when those are going up. But be sure to be checking out Superpower Happy Hour. We're getting all that stuff set up for iTunes and Spotify right now. So it's not up yet, but it will be up very soon. And if you check out our Instagram, you'll have all that information. Our episode 0 is going to be our chat with Alyssa Wong from NC Comic Con. I just got the raw edits for that. Our good friend Joshua Knoll did some great work with cleaning up the audio for us. So thanks to him for doing that. But got a lot of cool things going on. We're going to be talking in the next few days about Superpower Happy Hour plans with myself, with Will, with Faz. The Warriors 3 continue into Superpower Happy Hour. And Faz, I'm so excited for this. Like, I'm so excited for this new, like this fresh idea, but with familiar faces. I don't how like before we cut off the episode, like how are you feeling about like the vibe of what we're about to launch into?
I think it's gonna be so much fun, man. Like everybody says, at least the people that actually love us enough to message us say that they like us the best when we're having fun reading a funny comic, and like the fact we're gonna get to do that all the time while still covering the Immortal Thor is going to be a great balance for us. Instead of just feeling like I'd like to talk about that, but it's not part of my niche, the fact that we get to
Yeah.
branch out and do what we like and do what we love while still jumping into our niche when something interests us, but not just going, oh, that thing's coming up. Like don't worry, listeners. I will still be covering Alligator Thor when the third or Alligator Loki when the third season comes out.
Oh,
If
oh,
Alligator
for
Thor comes
sure.
out, I'm gonna go insane. That
Alligator
will be
Thor,
covered.
he'll
Yeah.
lose his mind.
That will be ridiculous. But
Oh my gosh.
like we're still gonna cover the things that you guys know us for. We're just not putting ourselves in a box. Loki has created Yggdrasil. We now have the ability to take many paths and go on our way. And that's what we're going to do. So really, we weren't going to do this except that Ryan read the leaks. Ryan wrote the Loki show. So that's how we
I
know
wish.
this is where
I
it's
wish.
going. Yeah.
But anyway, everybody, we got some fun surprises for you. We got some cool comics we're going to be reading, some really iconic things we're going to be reading for our first little like dive into Super Happy Hour. So be on the lookout for that on our Patreon. You can check that out at the link in the episode description. Like I said, you can follow us on Instagram at ManyPazOfficia, and maybe soon ManyPaz Official.
No.
So Vaz is gonna fight hard for this one. I can feel it. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. We have enjoyed delivering it to you, and we love you guys. We value you all. Thank you for your listening and for your support. Until we see you next time aboard the Rainbow Bridge, we encourage you to do one thing, and that is to stay worthy. Bum, 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 bum. You still got Dark World in your head?
Yeah, always. I always listen to you do
Always.
the first couple, then I go, wait a minute.